back with another haul from the Facebook ad I found for a guy about 10 minutes away who was having a garage sale, and he said he had about 25 boxes of comics, all assorted stuff. He had slabs, he had all kinds of stuff. It's kind of interesting. He probably had the worst graded copy of Giant Size X-Men 1 that I have ever seen. It was so haggard. It was like a point, I think it was graded like a 1.0, but that thing looked like a point oh one. To be honest, it was terrible. I don't think I got any footage of it. If I did, I would have included it for sure. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. He had a box of magazines, then he had a box of like Amazing Heroes, and unfortunately, none of the ones that I was really looking for, the Moon Knight ones that I've been searching for a long time. But let's get into it. Probably got about 30 books. Be a short, quick one. He had two copies of this. Hold them both up. Nexus number 3 magazine, and I'll hold up one of them. It has Brunner art in it, and this back cover is Brunner right there. So I just wanted to show you both, but that's such a great one. And then this front cover is Steve Rude, and he did most of the Nexus stuff, and it's fantastic. But these were cool because back in the 80s, mid to late 80s, and even early 90s, even some regular magazines and even McDonald's wasn't as flexy, but a lot of magazines, when they wanted you to hear something, they would include this is an actual record on it. So flexi disc, that's what they call it. And this one's a flexi comic. So this is from Capital Comics, and they had, I don't know, audio comics recorded or whatever. And it's the cool thing about this one that you don't really see that often, the flexi disc wise, is this one is two-sided. You might be able to see the grooves on the usually they're just one-sided because they barely press it in there and they only get one song. But this is two-sided, so you can read this and put it put the record on, and it'll give you the cues to flip the page, just like those old tapes. Do you remember those tapes when we were kids in the 70s and 80s? You'd read a story and it'd do like a ding, and then you'd flip the page and it would continue reading it and make all the sound effects that were going on in the story. And that's kind of what this is like too. But um, I couldn't pass these up for $1 each, and plus they go for like 10 or 15 bucks each. I was really surprised. I had no idea. I just thought they were too cool. I never see flexi disc stuff anymore. It's just great. So all right, and then here's some regular ones, and then we'll get into some like independent type stuff. So Superman 89, except this is the DC Universe logo. Superman in Action Comics 699, DC logo. Harder to find on these ones. Five Adventures of Superman 512, DC logo again. And the Man of Steel number 33, and you guessed it, DC logo. Hard to pass those up, and they're all in pretty good condition, near mint. 9.2s or better. Spawn number 9, surprised that was sitting in there. I said and he said, you know what this is? And he's like, yeah. He's like, it's Spawn number 9. I was like, okay, because he had a box of keys that was out separate, so that's why it kind of surprised me. He had other books marked at like 5, 10, $15 that were like holographic covers, gimmick covers from the 90s and stuff. And some of them were more, first Spidey 2099, that ASM. So I was very surprised to find these in there as well. New Mutants from number 100, first print. So that was kind of cool to find in there. Marvel Zombies 1, the 4th printing. I don't really see this one too often, that cool Hulk 1 homage. Marvel Zombies number 2, regular first print. This one has heated up, or all these probably have recently. This is, what is it? Seven Soldiers. I was trying to remember the title name before I flipped the book over. Frankenstein number 1. Number 4 of the same. It only goes to 4. It's like 1 of 4. 3 is the one you want. I don't remember if I got 3 or not. I might have gotten it and put it in another box, but it might have been in there. But if it was, I probably put it with the rest of my number 3s. But I have a bunch of those ones because that's the first appearance of the Bride. And if you No, recently the trailer just dropped for Creature Commandos, and she's a pretty prominent, like the head of that. Frankenstein's in it as well, and so is the bride. But I don't really see this one too often. I looked for the whole thing. He had like number 1 and number 3, but I just chose to get number 1. Batman and the Mad Monk, just a great cover. Wagner there wrote that, right? Cool. All right, into a little indie stuff here, and we'll finish it up with a little bit more DC. So we got, this is from Love and Rockets, Maggie and Hopi. All of these Fantagraphics Love and Rockets books, there's like a cult following for that title and all the associated ones that came out of it, the spin-offs and stuff. But I think this is like a, some of the books are color, some of the pages are color and some aren't. So it's like almost like a coloring book, but not really. Waldo World. These covers are insane, and I don't know who did it. Let's open it up and find out. But I was like, these are just like kind of too cool to pass up. They're just so like intense, and so this is number 1. And when you look at this cover, you don't really see where the numbers are. You have to really analyze it. They're very difficult. So number 1's like right there. But let's see who did the cover. Waldo World 1. Kim and Simon Deitch, if that's how you say it. This is the first printing of these too, but I got the whole set, and pretty bizarre. They just have some kind of real intense, a lot of stuff going on, a lot to unpack on these covers. So number 1. Number 2, you don't really see it at first, but it's right there. It looks like almost part of the landscape. Number 3, this one's a little easier to find. 1, 2, and 3. Pretty crazy looking though. Amazing Heroes, number 136, with this awesome Sienkiewicz. Shout out to West Coast Avengers again. Probably you've done that plenty of times, but I just love how silly it is. But this is such a cool, stylized Superman cover. It's hard for me to pass up. I love martial law. So this is what, number 182, Amazing Heroes 182. Couldn't pass that one. Read martial law if you haven't. I've said that plenty of times. And then I got number 106, a cool George Perez Wonder Woman cover. And this one's pretty desirable, actually. So that goes for an okay amount. Probably the 3rd set of these martial law books, but I pick them up every time if they're cheaper. And all these were $1, so I couldn't really refuse. I think he actually gave me a couple for free. I think it was like 20 something, 25 or 26 books. And he's like, how about just 20 bucks? So number 2. Number 3 is just insane cover, about to drop a baby off a building. Number 4. And number 5, that's a pretty crazy looking cover too. And then the last issue of the first story arc, number 6. And then I never see this one, and I used to have it a long time ago, and it was beat up, and I ended up giving it to someone. But this is Martial Law Takes Manhattan, and it's like, I think it's unread. It's like perfect condition. The corners are super sharp. There might be a little bit of schmutz just from taking it in and out of raw boxes because these were all raw, but I'm stoked to get that one back again. Let's put these down, get the last couple in here so you can see it a little easier. So we got Supreme number 6, and I was insanely surprised that this is a desirable issue. This is the awesome variant, and it's kind of it's an homage to Jack Kirby, and obviously this god-like character that deals with Supreme in the story. That's Jack Kirby's face. There's no denying it. So, and it kind of references him, but people are always looking for this one, and it's pink, and I get the pink covers all the time. We got Rose and Thorn number 1, Adam Hughes cover. That one's a desirable one. There's a couple later on in this run that people really want, but this one's pretty cool cover as well. pretty pink on that one as well. Look, I found number 3. I did get it. It wasn't in, I should have looked and kept them in order before, but that's the one you want. That's the first appearance of the bride as Frankenstein, essentially. Detective Chimp, number 1. And this was too weird not to get, and this Detective Chimp is kind of like a really obscure DC character. There was a dog that was kind of like a detective, or like not his sidekick, but like a sentient, had knowledge and or had intellect and stuff like that, and kind of did the same thing that Detective Chimp did. But that was I had to get that. I'd seen it. And then the last book, this is Hellblazer 75, just a insanely creepy looking Uncle Sam fabric cover. But the reason I got it, I couldn't pass it up right there. It's kind of hard to see, but it says, for Michael, Garth Ennis 94. So this is signed by Ennis. And so if you know a fan of Hellblazer and their name is Michael, hit me up, because I got a treat for them right here. You know, we'll work something out, because that's like, how do you pass up a book that's signed like that for like $1, you know? But that's it. That's the whole run. Hope you guys dug it. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. Trying new stuff. You see all this crap behind me in the garage. Probably do some videos from here for a while until I get everything squared away in my office room that I'm building out and putting up a bunch of stuff. So until next time, keep digging.